Thank you for being here. Are you or someone you love suffering through an abusive relationship? Well, today's show is especially for you, and I want you to listen closely because you are about to meet a woman who has suffered more abuse than you could ever imagine.
I feel like there's something wrong with me.
Sexual abuse, marital violence, and even random attacks her entire life, and who now believes she is destined to be a victim forever and believes she deserves it. Tell us about the rape situation.
A man came up to me and said he had nothing to live for. I just got in the car. At this point, I don't have any more fight in me left. I just didn't want him to kill me. He stopped somewhere and he raped me. I could feel the bullets go in my body and I got scared.
Jesus, man. What is it that scares Satan so much to want to take a life like yours through so much pain? What is he trying to stop? You won't want to miss a second of today's show. I'm Creflo Dollar, and this is your world.
Changing one life, time after time. Oh Lord, we do it all for you.
Through the trials I see, I'll always believe a new life starts with me. Oh, change your world today. Change is gonna come your way. Change and get an understanding. His grace will transform you.
Our guest today is a mother of 5 kids who has suffered unbelievable sexual, physical, and emotional abuse starting from the age of 7 into adulthood, and even beaten a few days before this taping. Today, she opens up about the trauma and emotional scarring she has endured for years and is still enduring. She is here for our help, so please help me welcome Sheena to your world. Well, first of all, thank you for being so bold and courageous to come and to sit on that couch and to share your story with us. I'm gonna tell you what we're gonna do. You know, it's one thing to have a written epistle where people can read the Bible. It's another thing to have a living epistle. And the audience and you and myself, we're gonna come together and we're gonna believe for the power of the Holy Spirit, not only to help the people who will be a part of this show today, but also to help you as well. And I'm here for you. The audience is here for you. We're getting ready to make the devils pretty upset. And it's all because of your willingness to let us into your world so we can learn some things and see some things, to advise you, and also to give some answers to the people that are gonna be watching this show. You ready? And I know this is very difficult, but it takes a lot of courage to do what you're doing. Let's just kind of start where you are. I mean, you know, you're here now, eyes full of tears. Obviously the pain is there. Let's talk about the trauma. If you had to sum up all of the things that have brought you to this place and even to these emotions, what would it be?
I feel like I am a living punching bag. Endured 34 years of abuse. I'm 40. It's just abuse on top of abuse on top of abuse. I feel like there's something wrong with me. And I'm here because I don't want it to trickle down to my children or my grandchildren. And I'm not here to bash anybody or to make anyone upset. I'm just here because I want to help my children not to be like me. I'm sorry.
And that's so honorable. That's so honorable. And that's the heart of a mother. And it's also the heart of God. And so we're going to take a journey today. And we're going to see if we can find some answers here. Let's be very specific. You have been physically abused, sexually abused,
Yes.
emotionally abused. And when we talk about the subject of rape, you've experienced that over and over again, which causes brokenness, because when a person's raped, something's been taken. Something has been stolen. So the obvious place for us to start is in the household, how you grew up. So let's talk about that. Did you grow up with both parents? Let's talk about when it was normal in the household and when it turned.
I lived with both of my parents. Mm-hmm. I have a big family, 5 brothers and 5 sisters. We lived in Utah for a while. That was very normal, and I was happy. I was probably 3 or 4. Mm-hmm. We moved back to Georgia, and that's when everything became abnormal.
So what happened when you came back to Georgia that caused everything to become abnormal?
One of my siblings moved into the house with us. That's where the sexual abuse started.
So your brother moved back in the house?
Yeah, my brother moved in the house.
Okay, this is pretty important. How old was he at the time?
Older, 14, 15.
Okay, and how old were you at the time?
6.
6 years old. And that was the first time you experienced sexual abuse, and it was by a brother?
Yes.
Okay. Do you recall being able to talk to anybody, your mother or your pastor? Were you able to share this with somebody?
As the years went by, I did.
Okay.
I think that was where the separation between parent and child happened.
They did not believe you?
No, they didn't.
And so 6 years old, to have that to happen by your brother, the confusion, the trauma, the devaluing. When this happened, something happened in the family that wasn't supposed to happen. I'm going to ask you a question. At 6, what did you do wrong?
I don't know.
The answer to that question is nothing. The answer to that question is nothing. You didn't do anything wrong. And sometimes what happens, especially in sexual abuse, there's this guilt feeling and question of what did I do to cause this to happen? And the answer is you didn't do anything. You were the victim. You suffered abuse and you didn't do anything wrong. Say that. I didn't do anything wrong. Say it.
I didn't do anything wrong.
I didn't do anything wrong.
I didn't do anything wrong.
Okay. Now I want us to go as we begin to establish this pattern, because 6-year-old girl with this type of trauma, and this is trauma, it's traumatic, and you're questioning what happened, why did it happen? I feel devalued. That's where it starts. This didn't happen from a stranger. This happened from a relative that's supposed to care and love me. And then once you communicate what happens to your parents, watch this, I'm not believed. There's a sense of rejection there. There's a sense of, I'm not important there. I'm not believable there. Imagine being that young and something's happened. You know how frustrating it is to be telling the truth and not to be believed.
Yes.
Okay, so what happens in the life of a person who does that? That's an attack now on your esteem. So at age 6, your esteem is under attack. Your self-esteem is under attack, and who you are is under attack. Satan comes to steal, kill, and destroy. But Jesus says, I've come that you may have life and have it more abundantly. Now, here's the deal. There's something about you that had to be so awesome and so special and so amazing for him to launch this attack against you at 6 years old. Okay? So there's something that he's trying to stop. Everybody that's born on the planet was born with an assignment, was born with a mission, was born with a purpose. You are not a mistake. But the enemy works diligently to strategize, to stop certain missions from ever coming to pass. So I want you to see this a lot deeper than what you've seen it before. There is something that you possess that the enemy has tried all of your life to stop. Take that and let's go to the next thing. What happens now?
My dad called it discipline, but I got a lot of beatings, and I ended up having to go in and out of foster homes, and
that's rejection big time. You're telling me that you were put out of your home into foster care? So now nobody wants me. Nobody loves me. I'm not lovable. I'm rejected. Sweetheart, let me tell you something. There's no person on the planet that's not going to respond in like manner when you suffer that much rejection and just being put out like that. You follow that? So what was the reason that was given to you for being put out of your home into foster care?
I was unruly. I was bipolar. I had they said I had all kind of issues. And so the court said that I had to stay in a foster home until it was safe for me to go back home, because I told them about what my brother had done. Mm-hmm. And it was just back and forth. And so when I got 14 or 15, I just ran away. I didn't know what else to do.
So much pain, right? And I'm looking for somebody who understands. I need somebody to help me. I need somebody to guide me. I need leadership here. And you're saying to me, you don't feel like you ever got that leadership, that rescue, somebody to show up and say, show me what to do at 14 years old now. So this is something you've carried from 6 to 14, and you still hadn't gotten it, the leadership. And so when they heard about it, of course, they probably thought they were doing you a favor by getting you out of the household, but in actuality, you were being rejected and more pain. And up until this point, you didn't have any spiritual guidance in your life either, right?
Not really. I mean, I believed in God. My family is very religious. So when I lived in Utah, it's a lot of Polynesians and Tongans that live there. And we lived with a Tongan family, and she would paint God for me as if he was a real person, and she made him tangible. She taught me how to, I guess, tap into him or make him real to me on the inside. And so I felt, as long as I asked him if he could just please don't let them take my joy or my laughter or my smile. That means that they didn't win. And so I would take that with me on all my journeys that I went through.
You're looking for one of the basic human needs of every human, and that's acceptance. I want to be accepted. God love me, accept me, value me. It's pretty clear the foundation that you're coming from. That's pretty devastating. That breaks my heart to hear that you had to go through all of that. I'm not even talking about behavior issues as much as I'm talking about a human being not being accepted, not feeling significant, not feeling love, not being believed, being rejected, suffering abuse. Somebody should have come to the rescue. You know what I'm saying? Now, we go from that situation, and we know what happens when you get into foster home situations. What's the next event that takes place?
Around 16, I got pregnant with my first daughter. I have 5 girls. 4 of my kids have the same father. My oldest daughter doesn't. While I was pregnant with her, I met my other kid's father. I had my first baby, and then I got pregnant with my second, and then I started going through abuse with him while I was pregnant with my second child.
Okay, so would you agree with me that, I can't find it at home, I can't find it with my parents, I can't find it in the foster homes. Now you're reaching out to relationship with guys to see if you can find what you hadn't been able to find, acceptance, love, being believed?
I just thought it was normal. I just thought it meant if they treat me that way, that it was normal, because that's all I ever knew.
That it was normal to be abused?
It was normal to be abused.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything else.
Yeah.
I figured I might as well just start my own family, and just as long as he didn't abuse my children, then it was okay.
So in a sense, what you did was, growing up the way you grew up, that you accepted the abuse as being normal. You're so hungry to try to get some acceptance, you were willing, in a sense, I said this the other day, to put yourself in a position to be exploited and to become a doormat for people to walk on. At least you had something. I can't tell you how sad that is. And there are people, some of you are watching this program right now, you know exactly what she's talking about, being the doormat and having to accept abuse as something that is normal. And I have to say very candidly, it is not normal. It is not God's way. It is not God's will. It's not normal. And you know that now, right? It's not normal at all. You were willing to accept it. And from the foundation that we're building right now, I think everybody in here can see where it takes you. It takes you to the place where when you don't get those basic human needs, you go on a journey trying to find it somewhere. And if you can't find it, you just kind of take what you can get. Because basic human needs, acceptance and self-worth and significance. And so you find yourself in a situation where I will take some abuse. Heck, I'm used to it. It became something that I accepted. I should not have, but I accepted it. You were raped, you were kidnapped.
Yes.
Tell us about the rape situation and when did it first happen?
When I was kidnapped.
Did you know the people that kidnapped you?
No, I didn't know them.
Are you kidding me? So tell us about that. You were kidnapped. Jesus, man.
I was standing at the bus stop on my way to work, and a man came up to me and said he had nothing to live for. At the time, I had about 3 or 4 kids. So I just got in the car and at this point, I don't have any more fight in me left. I'm tired of fighting. I don't have any more fights. I don't have any more fights. So I just got into the car. I just didn't want him to kill me. I really didn't care what he did. I just didn't want him to kill me. And so he drove me around all day. My family thought I was at work. They thought I was at work. I'm sorry.
Take a breath. Take a breath.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You're good. Don't apologize. We get
it. He stopped somewhere and he raped me. And I could feel the bullets go in my body, even though he had not shot the gun yet. I could feel them hit my body and I got scared. And so I told him that it was okay. I told him that it was fine. I told him that he could pick me up again and that we could do this. I just wanted to get away from him. I didn't want to be there. I just didn't want him to kill me. And so he dropped me off.
So you never reported it?
No, I reported it.
Mm-hmm.
But I was still dealing with the abuse with my children's father, so I had to quickly get over that. And then from my family, and I couldn't take it anymore, so I just gave up on myself.
This is hard to hear, but I tell you what, the thing that keeps going through my mind, you sound to me like a modern day Joseph. And all the hell that Joseph went through, that if he would have known what the end was going to be like, I'm telling you, there's something powerful about you. What is it that scares Satan so much to want to take a life like yours through so much pain? What is he trying to stop? It ain't over with, baby. The best is yet to come. Listen, folks, this is what happens when we reach out and receive the grace that God has for us. Sheena's story doesn't end here. On the next edition of Your World, I'm bringing in someone that's going to sit right here on this sofa with me and our amazing guest, Sheena, and we're going to deal with some things. And together, we're going to allow God to do what only He can do in this situation.
I say all the time, and women say, why do you say? I call it dead women walking.
Wow.
You know what a dead woman walking? She's given up, she's quit, she's tired, she's frustrated, and only thing left is, Lord, I won't take my life because I believe that is a wrong thing to do. So if you're gonna let me live, this is where I was on my couch less than 3 years ago. If you're gonna let me live, please don't let me live like this.
You don't want to miss our next program. I'm Creflo Dollar, and this is Your World.
Abuse of any kind is wrong. It is a cancer that robs the innocent identity, self-worth, and self-esteem from generations of families, from the youngest of children to the oldest survivors. What's worse, the faceless victims of abuse often suffer for years in silence because they are terrified that they will be judged, shunned, or rejected. On today's emotional episode, you met Sheena, a daughter, mother, and sister who has suffered abuse most of her life, from emotional, physical, and sexual abuse to marital violence and even random attacks. She stayed silent for decades, but today she finally came forward to share her painful story in the hopes of saving the lives of millions who are still suffering. If you or someone you know has suffered abuse, it is time to gain freedom once and for all. Creflo Dollar is on a mission to help abuse victims like Sheena understand that they are the apple of God's eye.
You didn't do anything wrong. And sometimes what happens, especially in sexual abuse, there's this guilt feeling and question of what did I do to cause this to happen? And the answer is you didn't do anything. You were the victim.
It is time for us to awaken to the harmful nature of abuse. The cycle will continue unless courageous people like Sheena come out of the shadows to tell their story. And you can help. Call or go online right now to receive a life-changing collection to help you gain inner strength and help you expose any form of abuse. First, you will receive the Harm of Shame 3 CD series, which will reveal how you can overcome and defeat shame with God's unchangeable promises of love, healing, and deliverance. It's time to shake off the bonds that are holding you back from a life of peace and blessing. Plus, you will receive the Embracing You Confession CD and booklet. Experience the peace that only God can bring as you listen to confessions from Taffy Dollar and profess these empowering words over your life and the lives of your loved ones. But that's not all. Call today with your tax-deductible donation of $30 or more, and you will receive the full, unedited DVD of today's show in its entirety. The incredible testimonies and words of wisdom in this powerful 2-part interview will bolster your confidence and faith to know that no matter how traumatic your past is, God loves you and still has a future and a hope for you. So that's the Harm of Shame CD series, the Embracing Your Confession CD and booklet, and a copy of the full unedited program from today on DVD for your tax-deductible donation of only $30 or more to the work of Creflo Dollar Ministries. When you respond to this special offer today, you are taking action and making a difference. The victims of abuse will be faceless no more through your step of faith. Decide today to change your reality and start living an empowered life right now. Call or go online. Our operators are standing by. You've seen the show. Now come and be a part of it. Join Dr. Dollar and guests as they explore the issues of life, love, and personal growth.
The show was designed to provide hope so that people could understand the grace of God and His unmerited, undeserved favor to make the difference in your life.
For free tickets to be a part of our studio audience, email yourworld@worldchangers.org or online at yourworldwithcreflo.com. Thank you, partners and friends. Your love and financial support makes it possible to bring this message into millions of homes all across the globe.